Hey, what's going on everybody? Today I want to bring you my FaZe building guide. Now FaZe is the first support to come out on Monolith, and she's the first support to come out since Narbash. And I must say, she's a great addition to the Paragon roster. The addition of FaZe has brought two new gameplay mechanics to Paragon, one being her telekinetic link, which is an ally pull, and the second being a blind. I'm going to touch on this in more detail once I actually start going over her abilities. That being said, I want to get into the build. As always, if you're using this building guide, leave a comment down below letting me know how it worked out for you. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that bell so you can be the first person to know when I release new videos. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. To start off, you're going to want to grab the Centurion as your prime card. All health has been buffed in the game from 50 HP to 60 HP, so this is definitely seen in the Centurion prime card now. Before it only gave you 250 HP, but now it's going to give you 300. For consumables, I have one health potion, one mana potion, one healer token. For equipment, I have a dummy ward, circlet of health, 3 gifts of the rain, guardian's ward, sage's ward, hunter's guile, quenching scales, thick blood, overflowing gifts, teleblink, cast converter, tainted magic, and finally divine shield. For the build order, you're going to want to start off with a health potion and a healer token. You could also start out with a circle of health, but in my opinion the health potion and healer token is better, because if an ally is tethered to you, FaZe gets her health regen added to theirs. With Circlet of Health, this effect doubles, but with the health potion, if your ally is really low, you can quickly get them back to full health by popping that health potion. If your carry has wards, the next card that you're going to want to pick up should be a 7-point Quenching Scales. I think personally all supports should be running Quenching Scales. If your carry didn't get wards first, then this is where you would get wards, so you're going to pick up that 6-point Sage's ward, but you're not going to fill it out at all. The next card that you're going to want to equip is going to be Overflowing Gifts. Once you have enough points to max out your 6-point Gifts of the range, you're going to want to get rid of Overflowing Gifts though. The next card that you're going to grab after that is going to be up to you. So if you want more health regen for you and your allies, you can go Cast Converter, but if you want to be able to do more damage and poke opposing heroes, you're going to want to grab Tainted Magic. Tainted Magic applies a stack of damage that's equal to 8% of the opposing hero's current HP for 4 seconds. This move has great synergy with FaZe's Energy Lance. The rest of the cards that are going to be in this build are pretty situational. I have Hunter's Guile in here if you're going up against an Aurora or Faye, because both of these characters are strong counters to FaZe, because she doesn't actually have access to Purity Sensor. Thick Blood is also another great card if the other team has multiple heroes building Lifesteal or Health Regen. Divine Shield is great also as well, if you're going up against a team that is very CC heavy. Now as a support, you're almost never going to reach full build, but if you do, the cards that you will have applied are going to be as follows. You're going to have your Guardian's Ward, your 2 Gift of the Rains, Quenching Scales, Cast Converter, and Tainted Magic. Now to go over FaZe's abilities. FaZe's basic attack is called Pulse Bolt, and it does 53 damage, so there's nothing crazy about that. Her right click or her R1 ability is Telekinetic Link. Now this move is something that takes a little bit of time to get used to. It took me a few games actually to really understand the nuances of the move. If there are multiple heroes around you and you already have someone linked, you're going to want to hold R1 to cycle through them. Otherwise you're just going to pull your teammate towards you, whoever you already had linked, and that could either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your positioning. So in a couple of games actually, my first game I was playing FaZe and I ended up linking to my Bellica, and I was actually inside Howie ult, and I pressed R1 to try to link off of her, and it ended up pulling her back to me, so I actually got her killed. It's like, you don't want to do that. Like, you want to make sure that if you're trying to link onto someone else, that you're holding down R1 so that doesn't happen. Now, the only way that you can break your telekinetic link is if you're going to recall back to base, so if you're pressing R3, or I think it's B on the computer, or if you get out of range. Those are the only 2 ways that you can cancel the telekinetic link. The range of the move is pretty far, however, so I was actually surprised when I first started playing just like how far the range actually is. I think the range pretty much, you can be on the opposite side of a tower, and then your carry or whoever you have tethered can be on the other side of the tower and you'll still be in range. Now the next move that she has, her Q or her circle ability, is called Psychic Flare. This ability does 75 ability damage at level 1, and it blinds all enemies in the AoE for 1.5 seconds. This is an awesome move, and it can absolutely devastate teams in teamfights if it's used correctly. Not only do the heroes that are close to FaZe get blinded, but any heroes that are close to an ally that's linked get blinded as well. This move has great synergy with heroes like Brux, Sevarog, Sereth, Countess, Chimera, and Steel, all heroes that have really good initiation moves. So what you want to do essentially is link up to them, let them get close to enemy heroes, and then use your blind. Last but not least, we have FaZe's ultimate, which is called Hyperflux. FaZe overcharges herself and her Link teammate with energy, giving both 80 attack speed, 50% cooldown, and 75 mana regen for 8 seconds. Both FaZe and her teammate also receive a speed boost as well. This is a great move and has synergy with pretty much every single caster. Casters are mana hungry by nature, so this is a great move to allow a hero like Countess to do her complete cycle of moves without running out of mana. You would also be giving her 50% cooldown reduction on her ultimate, so that helps as well. One thing of note is that it's okay to use your ultimate out of combat. So what I mean by this is that if someone on your team is low mana and they would have to back otherwise, then you can just pop your ultimate so that they can continue fighting or pushing a lane. Now for some gameplay. In this guide, I'm going to go over some things that I normally just do when I play any kind of support, and then I'm also going to go over things that I do specifically with FaZe. So right off the bat, I grab my dummy ward as quickly as possible and I place one by the fog wall by my jungle. I then go back, sell that dummy ward, and then reapply it, and then place a second ward near the enemy team's jungle. That gives my team really good vision to prevent ganks, and it also allows me to equip my healing cards. Once I'm in lane, you can be very aggressive with FaZe. So typically, if I see that the carry is doing a good job of last hitting, I'll try to poke the opposing offlaner just to get him low, and hopefully we can secure a kill. If not, if I see that my carry is struggling with last hitting, then I won't poke, because poking makes it really hard to hit the minions because they start moving around and shit. So you kind of have to like gauge your carry just to see, like, if he's a really good last hitter, then you can definitely poke, but if he's not, then don't do it. Poking the opposing offlaner also makes it hard to freeze the lane, so it really depends on what your carry wants. So like typically I'll also just type to my carry, just ask him if he wants to freeze the lane or if he wants to be aggressive. Because typically when I carry, if the opposing offlaner is melee, like a Greystone or a Kwang, I'll freeze the minion wave for a wave or two, and then I'll get really aggressive, looking either to secure the kill or to get a lot of damage on the tower by like 5 minutes. If the opposing offlaner is ranged though, then I just freeze the lane at the top of the hill near my tower, and then once they push up, I'll call for a gank from my jungler. As a support, you kind of just have to go with, like I said before, you kind of just have to go with whatever your carry wants. The last thing you want to do is throw your carry's last hitting off, because that can definitely put him behind in CP. After grabbing Telekinetic Link, the second ability that you're going to grab is going to be Energy Lance. This move is great for poking heroes under tower because of its long range. Here you see me putting damage on the enemy offlaner, allow my carry to easily land basic attacks and obliterate. After Energy Lance, the next ability you're going to want to grab is going to be Psychic Flare. The upgrade order that I found to be most useful is focusing on Energy Lance first, so upgrading that, then Psychic Flare, and then Telekinetic Link last. You're going to upgrade your ultimate at levels 5, 9, and 13. Now with FaZe, the most important thing to keep in mind is positioning. Positioning is key with her because she doesn't have a natural escape, and she also needs to be able to keep her teammates safe with Telekinetic Link. Now the key to playing FaZe is effectively knowing how and when to use your Telekinetic Link. So do you either want to use your Telekinetic Link to pull teammates towards you to engage, or do you want to pull them away from you so that you can disengage? If you're trying to initiate a team fight, you can also definitely use Teleblink to first get close to the enemy team's ranger or mage, and then you're going to want to use Psychic Flare and Energy Lance to blind them and root them. At that point in time, you can activate Telekinetic Link to pull your teammate to you to finish off that kill. This is a great combo, and it works very well with other heroes that have great mobility as well, like Gideon and Steel. Now let's say that your carry is getting ganked by the opposing team's jungler or offlaner. What you want to do is run away from your carry and then use your pull to get him out of harm's way. With Telekinetic Link activated, you want to keep a fair amount of distance between you and the person that you're actually linked to, or else you're going to limit the effectiveness of the move. If you're standing right next to him, you pulling him towards you isn't really going to do anything, because the enemy jungler or whoever is trying to attack you at that time will be able to focus both of you. So that's something that you want to definitely avoid. Overall, I think that FaZe is an awesome support with a great kit that provides a lot of versatility. There's definitely several different ways that you can play her. You can play her either really aggressively or kind of passively. And I like the way that Epic designed her kit so that you can emphasize both of those things to protect your teammates. If I had to rank her right now, I'd definitely say she's arguably the best support. What I've noticed from playing Decker a lot over the past couple weeks is that her ultimate is very situational, and the damage done from AoE ultimates like Howitzer and Gadget is typically mitigated by healing cards like Quenching Scales and Honor the Pure. Narbash is a good support as well, but he can definitely be stunned out of his ultimate, which is a really big drawback. Muriel's good as well too, but she falls off hard late game with her shielding, and she doesn't have any CC besides her slow, so she definitely needs teammates to compensate for that. And then last but not least, Richter is Richter. So He has a very high skill cap, and he can really only be effective if he's landing his hooks, and if he's not, then he's kind of useless because with his ultimate, he gets rooted for 2 seconds, so it's really easy to focus him in team fights and just get him out of the way. So like I said before, I definitely think that FaZe is probably either the best support or second after Decker. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. If you aren't subscribed yet, hit that button down below so you can stay up to date with my new builds and guides. That being said, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace!